Listen to me. I need to hear this deep, and you can't defeat me. You can knock me down, but I promise you, I'm getting back up. You can throw me in the fire, but all that's going to do is forge me. You can take everything from, but you can't take me from me. I was built for this. I come from pain. I come from struggle. I didn't get here because somebody handed it to me. Because I refused to quit. I got here because I turned pain into power, losses into lessons, setbacks into setups. Listen to me. I need you to feel this in your bones. You can't stop me. You can't break me. You can slow me down, but I promise I will catch up and I will pass you. You can throw dirt on my name, but throw obstacles in my path. But when the glares and the noise fades, I'm still going to be standing. You don't get to define me. You don't get to tell me when I'm done. Only I do that. Only I know what I've been through. Only know the pain, the rejection, the late nights, the tears. You see a person standing here today. You don't see the scars underneath. You don't see the battles I fought just to be in the room. I come from a place where nobody hands you anything. You either grind or you starve. You either push or you get pushed around. I had to fight for every inch. Every win you see on my timeline came from 100 losses you didn't see. Every moment of shine was earned in the dark when nobody was clapping, nobody was watching, and nobody cared. I got used to being alone, used to silence, and that silence became power. I don't need the crowd. I don't need the spotlight. I don't need the world to believe in me. I believe in me. I double down on me every single time. You think you can defeat somebody who's already been to the bottom and survived it. You think you can scare someone who's already been through hell and didn't fold. You think your words, your judgment, your shade mean anything to somebody who had to climb out of pits most people come back from. I don't fold under pressure. I rise. Pressure makes diamonds and pressure reveals who's real. I didn't ask for the easy road. I didn't ask for the short path. Ask for the truth. And the truth is, if you want to be great, you have to be willing to suffer. You have to be willing to wake at 4 a.m. when nobody else will. You have to be willing to sacrifice, to go without, to grind when there's nothing left in the tank. I don't get tired. I get focused. I don't complain. Adjust how I commit. You see, some people want the result, but they don't want to process. They want to shine, but not the struggle. They want the crown, but not the climb. That's not me. I embrace the pain, welcome the grind, because that's where greatness lies. In the moments nobody sees. In the mornings when it hurts to get up. In the nights when quitting whispers in your ear. In the seconds when everything in your body is begging you to stop. And you go anyway to your school. You can't defeat me because I don't cause other people. I compete with the person I was yesterday. I don't measure myself by trophies. I measure myself by how many times I showed up when I didn't feel like it. How many times I kept going when the feeling was gone. Motivation fades. Hype dies, but consistency, that's what wins. That's what builds legacy. And that's why you can't stop me. Because I'm not doing this for applause. I'm doing this for impact. I'm doing this because I made a promise to myself. And I don't break promises. I don't take days off on purpose. I don't rest when I'm tired. I rest when I'm done. You can take my resources, take my money. You come into your school, take my connections, but you can't take my heart. You can't take my why. I got a reason to get up. I got a reason to push through the pain. I got a reason to outlast every obstacle in front of me. And when you got a why that's bigger than your fear, bigger than your doubt, bigger than your excuses, then nothing can break you. You become undangerous, not because you're the fastest or the strong, the smartest, but because you won't quit. They told me I was too broken, too late, too far gone. I heard them. I remember the voices, the silence. And I used every single one of them as fuel. I don't need motivation. I'm self-made, self-fueled, self-driven. I stopped waiting on somebody to come save me. I became the hero of my own story. I stopped asking for permission. I stopped waiting for the perfect moment. I took the hits, took the failures, took the pain, and I kept moving because no matter what happens, you can knock me down if you want. You can bury me under doubt, fear, under pressure. But understand this, I'm not staying down. I've been here before. I've been counted out. I've been written up. I've heard every version of good enough. And every single time I smiled, nodded, and kept building. You think I needed your approval. You think I waited for you to validate me before I moved. That's where you messed up. I was already moving. I was already grinding. I was already climbing before you even saw me. See, you're just seeing the surface. You're just catching up to results. But what you don't see is the work. The early mornings when the world was asleep and I was lacing up. The nights when my body was beginning me to stop. And I looked it in the face and said, we're not done yet. This isn't about feeling like it. This isn't about convenience. This isn't about hype. This is about commitment, deciding once and for all that nothing. Nothing will stop you from becoming who you said you'd be. And once I made that decision, once I planted my flag, it was over. Because now, no matter what happens, I keep taking all. They can take the support. They can take the money. They can take the stage. But they can't take the fire inside me. They can't take the mindset. Your real win isn't out there. It's in here. The real battle is internal. And I already won that. I already overcame the doubt in my own head. I already conquered the voice that told me I wasn't built for this. That was the hardest fight. That was the war most people lose. But I stood up to it. I faced it. And I beat it. That's why you can't defeat me. You can't external. I'm focused on the internal. You want trophies. I want transformation. You want praise. I want purpose. You want quick. I want forever. That's the difference. That's what separates the real ones who just play at it. I live this. I breathe this. I wake up with it on my mind and go to sleep with it in my chest. This isn't a phase for me. This is my chapter. I was born to do this. I was built for the adversity, built for the struggle, built to keep walking when most people would stop crawling. You think I'm scared of failure? I know every time I fail, I learn. Every time I get knocked down, I build muscle. Every rejection strengthens my resolve. Every door that closes just reminds me to wait. I was meaning to break doors down. I'm not trying to impress anybody. I'm not looking around to see who's watching. I'm locked in. Tunnel vision, zone in. I don't have time for drama, distractions, or doubt. I'm in pursuit of something bigger than me. And that means I'm willing to endure what most people avoid. I don't just work hard, outlast, compete, I dominate. Not because it's easy. Not because it's fun. But because I made a decision to be uncommon. To do what others won't. So I can live how others can't. And that decision came with a cost. It came with sacrifice. It came with lonely days and long nights. But I paid that price. I paid in full. And I'm still paying. Every day I wake up, I put something on the table for it. My discipline, my consistency. While others sleep in, I'm moving. While others procrastinate, I execute. While others hesitate, I go all in. You can say what you want. You can doubt me. You can whisper behind my back. But none of that changes who I am. I've been in the trenches too long to be fazed by your noise. I've been through too much to care what you think. Because while you were judging me, I was working. While you were talking, I was building. And now you're surprised I'm still here, still hungry. That's still I get. That's get poetry grind. I live in it. I don't run from pressure. Press into it. I don't fold when it gets hard. Rise. This isn't talent. This isn't luck. This is mindset. This is where every day doing what needs to be done when nobody's clapping, even when nobody sees it, even when it's not glamorous. I don't wait for inspiration. Move with wait for the storm to pass. I learn how to thrive in the middle of it. Because I know that no matter what happens, you can take everything from me, strip it all away. My money, my status, my platform, but you can't take me. You can't take my spirit. You can't take my grind. You can't take my purpose. I didn't get here as I had everything lined up. I didn't make it because the stars aligned and life was easy. I made it because I refused to let anything stop me. I refused to let failure define me. I refused to let fear break me. I think this came from comfort. You think this mindset was born in peace. This was forged in adversity. I became who I am in the storm, not the sunshine. They try to count me out, to bury me under their opinions, try to hold me back with their doubt. But every time they said I couldn't, I found another level. Every time they turned their back, every time life pushed me, I push back harder. I don't run from resistance. I use it. I don't avoid pressure. I embrace it. Pressure made me. Pain shaped me. Rejection taught me. I learned to stop taking things personally and start taking responsibility. I learned that the world doesn't owe me anything and nobody's coming to save me. So I stopped waiting and started working. See, when you know who you are, when you know what you're made of, nothing on the outside can break you. You stop asking for permission. You stop explaining yourself. You stop dimming your light to make others comfortable. I'm not here to fit in to be liked. I'm here to fulfill a calling. I'm here to walk in purpose. I'm here to go all in. I don't need common conditions. I don't crowd and cheer. I don't need the path to be smooth. I just need the opportunity. I just need one crack in the door, and I'll kid off to think this is about motivation. This is survival. This is identity. This is what I was made for. I didn't stumble into this. I chose this. I didn't inherit greatness. I earned it. Rep by rep, fight by fight. I got up when I didn't feel like it. I moved forward when everything said, stop. I showed up when there was no applause, no spotlight, no guarantee of success. I kept because I made a decision that my future was worth the sacrifice. I made a decision that nothing would steal my destiny. Not fear, not pain, not people. I'm not pressure you think I'm going to be defeated. I've already taken the worst life had to throw. I've already been through heartbreak, betrayal, failure, loss, and I'm still here, still breathing, still grinding. He's still building. That's not luck. That's not talent. That's resilience. You can't defeat a person who's made peace with struggle. You can't stop someone who's already been and built themselves stronger. I don't avoid pain. I partner with it. I use it as fuel. I turn it into progress. I let it sharpen me, not shatter me. Every time I failed, I grew. Every time I got up different, stronger, wiser, more focused. I stopped seeing failure as the end and started using it as a beginning. That's what separates who make it from the ones who don't. It's not that I'll never fail. It's that I refuse to stay there. I refuse to settle. I refuse to believe that where I started is where I had to end. You don't get to define me by lowest moments unless you're also willing to count every comeback, every bounce back, every time I leveled up. When I don't fear the process. I welcome it because I know what's on the other side. I know what it feels like, break generational curses. I know what it feels like to be the one who breaks through generations of struggle. That's why I keep going. That's why I won't fold. That's why I don't need motivation. I am motivation. I am the example. I am the reminder that it doesn't matter where you start. It matters how bad you want it. It matters how willing you are to go all in. Even when it hurts, even when it's lonely, even when it looks like nothing is going to defeat me, then you better be ready to suffer more than I've suffered. You better be ready to sacrifice more than I've sacrificed. You better be ready how to stay locked in than I've stayed locked in. Because I'm not here to compete with average. I'm not here to play small. I'm not here to visit success. I'm here to live in it. I paid for this with sweat, tears, with discipline, with days of doubt where I showed up anyway, with nights of fear where I kept moving forward anyway, with seasons of failure where I kept defending me because this isn't a phase. It's not a trend. It's not a campaign. This is who I am. This is my DNA. This is what I do. And no matter what happens, this ain't about talent. It ain't about hunger. This is about grit. This is about waking up every day and deciding that you will not be denied. That no matter how hard it gets, no matter how many people walk away, no matter how many doors get slammed in your face, you are still going to show up, still going to fight, still going to chase what's yours. Because when you've got hunger, you don't make excuses. When you've got hunger, wait for opportunities. You create them. You knock until your knuckles bleed. You push until your legs give out. But you fight until there's nothing left. And then you fight some more. I've seen too many people with all the talent in the world lose because they didn't have the heart. I've seen people with connections, with money, with the best education fall apart the moment got uncomfortable. But I've also seen people with nothing make it because they refused to quit. They didn't have resources, but the mindset. They didn't have the support, but they had the will. That's the difference. That's what separates the elite from the average. Not talent, not opportunity, obsession. You think you're going to win just because you want it. Everybody wants it. Everybody wants success. Everybody wants greatness. But the question is, how bad do you want it? Are you willing to suffer? Are you willing to be misunderstood? Are you willing to sacrifice your comfort, your pride, your time, your sleep? Because I promise you this, success in life, in comforts, inconvenience. It lives in repetition. It lives in the days when you're tired, when you're doubting yourself, when nothing in school, when nothing is still show right, and you still putting in work. You still chase the dream like it's day one most. People stop when it gets hard. More school. Most people when they don't see results right away. Most people shrink when they feel pressure. But you can't defeat me because I don't operate like most people. I'm built different. I'm not chasing comfort. I'm not looking for easy. I want the grind. I want the process. I want the pain because I know what it produces. I know what comes out the other side. Diamonds don't come from ease. They come from pressure. Champions aren't made on game day. They're made in the gym when nobody's watching. Warriors aren't born. There were nights didn't sleep. Mornings I didn't eat. Days I was overwhelmed. Weeks where I questioned everything, but I kept going. I kept moving. I kept believing in something bigger than pain. That's why you can't defeat me, because I've already paid the price. I've already gone through the fire. I've already given everything I had, and I'm still here, still locked in, still hungry, while others are waiting for the right time to move the right situation. I'm already moving. I'm already grinding. I'm already putting the work. Discipline is my oxygen. Sacrifice is my fuel. I don't rely on motivation because motivation is emotional. It fades. It's inconsistent. But discipline shows up whether it feels like it or not. Discipline doesn't care if it's raining, if I'm tired, if nobody believes in me. Discipline says get up and go. Discipline says keep moving forward even when your legs hurt, your mind is screaming, and your heart is heavy. And that's why I can't be defeated, because I don't need ideal conditions. Create progress through consistency. I show up regardless. You want to win. Then show me how long you can stay locked in. Show me how many days you can stay disciplined without applause. Show me what you do when nobody's texting you encouragement, nobody's posting you online, nobody's checking in to see how you're doing. Show me how to move when you're under pressure, when it feels unfair, when the plan falls apart, because that's who you really are. That's where champions are built, not when it's easy. When it's hell, I've been too much to back down. I've come too far to let now. Every step I took in the dark, every drop of sweat, every ounce of effort, it meant something. It ain't from your school. And in every moment of struggle, add another layer to who I am. You can't strip that away. You can't erase the work. You can't undo the hours. You can't cancel the commitment, doubt me. You talk about me. You can wish against me, but none of it changes the outcome, because I don't get results by wishing. I get results by working. But it ain't coming to your school. While you hope, I'm preparing. While watching, I'm building. While you're hesitating, I'm moving. That's why you can't defeat me, because I'm not here to survive. I'm here to take over. You ever been in a place where you feel like everything is against you? Like the world is testing you, pushing you, daring you to quit. I've been there. I know what it's like to wake up with pressure sitting on your chest. I know what it's like to walk into rooms where you don't feel seen, don't feel respected, don't feel like you belong. But I never let that stop me. I had that pressure of purpose. I turned that rejection into fuel. I turned the silence into focus. I don't need the world to believe in me for me to move. I believe in myself, and that belief is enough to carry me through whatever I've got to walk through. Most people wait for the perfect conditions before they take the first step. They wait for the money, the approval, the plan perfect, ever to be comfortable. I didn't have that luxury. I had to move in uncertainty. I had to make decisions with no safety net. I had to believe to leaving when I had no evidence that it was working. That's what people don't understand. This didn't start with success. It started with struggle. It started with pain. It started with me getting up every single day, broken, unsure, and still showing up. You can't defeat somebody who has already walked through hell and didn't lose themselves. You can't break someone who found peace in Charles. I didn't become strong because life gave me everything I wanted. I became strong because life gave me challenges, and I made a choice. I decided I wasn't be a victim. I decided to go and wait on a handout. I decided I wasn't going to be average. You don't become elite by accident. You become elite when you stop running from the work and start embracing the pressure. Pressure builds warriors. Pressure exposes pretenders. And I've been enough pressure to exactly who I am. I don't get shaken by adversity because adversity is my training ground. Every failure, a rep. Every rejection, a lesson. Every lonely night, a moment to build discipline. Most people break when the lights go off. I come alive because I know that the dark is where champions are made. Not when it's easy, not when it's popular, but not everything's working. But when nothing is going right and you still stay locked in, you still stay committed, you still keep grinding, even when nobody's clapping, even when nobody's calling, even when nobody's watching, no, you know, you can't defeat me because I'm not just motivated, I'm anchored. I'm not here for a season. I'm here for a legacy. I'm not chasing a build movement. And when you've got that kind of vision, that kind of purpose, you stop letting people's opinions stop you. You stop letting fear dictate your pace. You stop living your life to please people who wouldn't even show up for you when you're down. I learned to alone before I ever expected anyone to walk with me. I learned to push myself before I ever needed a cheerleader. I learned to grind in silence before the world ever gave me a microphone. People look at the success and think it came overnight. They don't see the sacrifices. They don't see the tears, the missed opportunities, the long stretches of nothing working. But I stayed in it. I kept building. I kept sowing seeds, even I didn't see the harvest. That's discipline. That's belief. That's what it means to be unshakable. You want to defeat me. You better be ready to outlast me in the dark. You better be ready to sacrifice more than sacrifice. You better be ready to suffer longer than I've suffered. I'm not fueled by applause. I'm fueled by responsibility. I don't train because it feels good. Train because there's purpose on my life. Don't show up because I feel like it. I show up because I gave my word. And when you live like that, people can't touch you. Distractions can't pull you. Failure can't shake you because you're not moved by circumstances. You're moved by commitment. And I made a coming time long ago that wastes this life. I would not settle. I would not let fear keep me small. And I would not stop until I gave everything I had every day. I'm in the gym. I'm in my books. I'm sharpening. I'm groaning. I'm getting better. Not because I have to, because I choose to. Because I know what's at stake. I know there are people counting on me. I know there are dreams connected to my discipline. So I don't need hype. I don't need someone to tell me I'm great. I just need my mission. I just need the vision. I just need to break up with lungs and purpose in my heart. And that's enough to keep me going through whatever storm comes my way. You can underestimate me. You can talk about me. You can rout against me. But none of that stops clock. None of that changes the work I'm putting in. None of that rewrites the truth. And the truth is, I'm still here, still standing, still rising, still grinding, and no matter what you throw my way. You ever feel like the world wants you to stay small? Like every time you rise a little, something tries to pull you back down. That's not a coincidence. That's resistance. That's life testing how serious you are. It's easy to say you want success. It's easy to talk big when you're inspired, when things feel good, when the plan's working. But how do you respond when it's not? What do you when you give everything you got and it still doesn't move? That's when it gets real. That's cool. When you find out if you're committed, just trust it. If you're built for the dream or just addicted to the fantasy, there are two types of people in this world. And those who fold under pressure. And I decided a long time ago I was going to become pressure. I wasn't going to run from adversity. I was going to learn how to dominate it. I wasn't going to avoid the storm. I was going to trade in it. Because if you're going to talk about being great, if you're going to raise your hand and say, I want more, then you better be prepared. More requires. You better be ready to outwork everybody in the room. You better be ready to suffer longer, push harder, think sharper, and move when everybody else is stuck. You want to defeat me. Then you better be willing to wake up earlier than me, sacrifice more than me, outlast me, outfocus me, outperform me on the days when you feel like quitting. Because I don't quit. I don't let how I feel dictate what I do. I show up when it's inconvenient. I execute when it's uncomfortable. I fight when there's no strength left in body. Why? Because I made a promise to myself, a promise that I will not waste the gift, a promise that I will leave nothing on the table, and a promise that I will not have a life. What could happen if I had just pushed a little harder? This ain't about motivation. Motivation is weak. It dies in the heat. It fades in the pressure. It disappears when you need it the most. This is a commitment. This is about waking up every day and moving like your future depends on it, because it does. This is about being so locked in that nothing. And I mean, nothing can pull you off your purpose. Not failure, not fatigue, not opinions, not setbacks. I don't care how loud the world gets. I stay tuned into the vision. I stay connected to that's why I can't defeat it. Because no matter what life throws at me, I respond with action, with discipline. I respond with persistence. People ask, how you keep going when you're tired? I build endurance. How do you keep believing when nothing's working? I build faith. How do you keep showing up after all the setbacks? I build resilience. I didn't inherit this grind. I chose. I didn't wake up with it. I trained for it. Day in, day out. Repetition after repetition. And now it's in my bloods. It's not something I do. It's who I am. You take the stage away, I'm still grinding. You take the audience away, I'm still to your studying. You take the reward of pushing, because the reward ain't the money, the applause, or the recognition. The reward is knowing I gave everything I had, that I didn't cheat the process, that I honored the gift. Most people want the crown, but they don't want the cross. They want the shine, but not the sacrifice. They want to be great, but they don't want to get uncomfortable. You skip steps. You can't cheat the pain. You can't shortcut the grind. Everything you skip now is going to show up later when it matters most. You can't fake hunger. You can't fake this mindset. You either love this or you don't. And I made a decision that I would rather fail being real than succeed being fake. I'd rather struggle being honest than shine hollow. I've been counted out. I've been laughed at. I've been overlooked. And it only made me more dangerous. Because every time they said I couldn't, I added another rep. Every time I wouldn't, I stayed another hour. Every time they said I didn't have what it takes, I made sure to prove to myself that I did. I stopped trying to people wrong and started proving myself right, because I know who I am. I know what I've survived. I know what I've built brick by brick, tier by tier, hour by hour. So now when the pressure comes, I smile. When the odds are stacked, I double down. When the noise gets loud, I go silent and get to work. Because I don't need hype, I need vision. Coming to your school, I don't need cheerleaders, I need clarities. I need grit. And that's why I keep showing up. That's why I keep winning. That's why no matter what comes my way, there's your school. There's Dangerous and who's about a peace with the pain. You can't shake someone who's already been through fire and didn't flinch. I've been hit. I've been hurt. I've been knocked down every single time. Not because I had to, but because I refused to stay on the ground. I refused to let life count me out. I made a decision that I wouldn't just survive. I would rise. I would build. I would fight for what was mine, even when it looked like nothing was working. Even when it felt like I was walking alone with no guarantee of light on the other side. Most people want destiny to come easy. They want success to knock on the door like it owes them something. I didn't wait for permission. I took the stairs, waited for an elevator built with scraps while they waited for a perfect blueprint. I was working while they were waiting. That's the difference. That's why you can't defeat me, because I'm not moved by ideal conditions. I move through rain, through failure, through loss, through betrayal. I don't fold when people walk away. I don't shrink when the crowd disappears, panic when it falls apart. I pivot, I adapt, I keep moving, because stillness isn't an option when greatness is calling. You think pressure breaks me. Pressure builds me. You think setbacks slow me down. They sharpen me. I don't cry about closed door. I kick down new ones. You see, there comes a moment when you stop chasing comfort. There comes a moment when you stop needing support and become your own support system. I stopped waiting for someone to come save me. I stopped hoping the world would see my value. I started proving my value by the way I show up every day. Not just when I feel good. Not just when things go my way. I show up regardless because this isn't about how I feel. It's about what I committed to. I wasn't born with a silver spoon. I didn't inherit the keys. I had to earn everything, every opportunity, every connection, every breakthrough it. I had to pray for it. I had to cry through it. That's why it hits different. That's why it matters. That's why I protect it. Because when you build something to the ground up, when you sweat for it, bleed for it, suffer for it, there's a different kind of fire inside you, a different kind of focus, a different kind of hunger. And that hunger doesn't just go away. That hunger follows you into the gym, into the office, into the classroom, into the boardroom. It follows you until the mission is complete. You can throw obstacles in my path. I'll climb them. You put weight on my back. I'll carry it. You can put me in a room full of doubters. I'll outperform all of them because I stopped being surprise resistance by expected. I welcome it. Resistance is a sign I'm headed in the right direction. If nobody's challenging you, you're not pushing hard enough. If you're comfortable, you're not growing. If you're coasting, I want the mountain climbing, not the hill. I want the stretch, not the shortcut. I want the process. I'm not the past. That's why you'll never look and catch me for the easy route. Wake up every day like I've got something to prove. Not to them, to me. To the kid I used to be that didn't believe. To the version of me that almost gave up. I owe him this. I owe that kid the victory. And every time I push through when I want to quit, every time I show up when I want to hide, every time I choose discipline over comfort, I get close stronger, I get clearer. You don't get power from the path of least resistance. You get power from the path of most and you become unbreakable. That's how you become undeniable. There are people watching me now who used to doubt me. People studying my moves said I wouldn't make it. Cool, let them watch. Let them wonder how I keep showing up. Let them ask how I keep climbing when it looks like the ladder is broken. I don't need perfect conditions to operate. I'd applause to stay focused. I don't need easy eye, just need purpose. Because when you've got purpose, everything else becomes noise. The doubt, the distractions, they all fade in the background. When your eyes are locked on the finish line, I don't care what storm comes next. I don't care what setback shows up. I've already traded worse. I've already overcome things that were supposed to destroy me. So I don't panic when the winds pick up. I don't waver when the pressure hits. I don't break when the heat rises and ride through it. I lean into it because every challenge is another opportunity to prove to myself that nothing can stop me. Nothing can silence me. Nothing can defeat me. They cutting me out before I even got started. Then my situation, my background, my lack of resources, and they wrote the ending to my story without even letting me hold the pen. But what they didn't understand is I don't need approval to be great. I don't need validation to move forward. I don't need a green light to chase what's mine. I gave myself permission a long time ago to fight for it, to sweat for it. I wasn't born with the luxury of waiting. I had to make a way when there wasn't one. I had to grind in places most people wouldn't through people love to talk about the grind until it's time to actually grind. They love the idea of winning, but they don't want to go through what it takes to win. They want the celebration without the suffering. They want to finish line without running the race. But me, I made peace with the process. I married the work. I fell in love with the morning stuff. The late nights, the lonely hours when it feels like nobody's watching, nobody's cheering, nobody cares. That's where champions are made, in silence, in repetition. That's where I found out who I really am. I stopped waiting for the world to believe in me. I stopped needing people to clap for me. I started showing up whether I was noticed or not because I realized something powerful. Nobody owes me anything. The world doesn't owe me success. Life doesn't owe me an opportunity. I owe it to myself to take advantage of every second inch, every breath I've been given. And when you live like that, when you move like that, when you grind like that, defeat becomes impossible. Because even when you lose, you learn, you stretch. Even when you fall, you rise stronger. I don't care what you throw at me. I've already survived worse. I don't fear the challenge. I respect it. I don't run from the pain. I lean into it because I know pain is the price for purpose. Struggle is the tuition for success. Sacrifice is the toll on the road to greatness, and I'm willing to pay whatever it costs. That's the mindset that separates the average from the elite, not the talent, not the connections, not the luck. It's the willing more to suffer longer, to keep going after everyone else has stopped. I've learned how to keep showing up long after the feeling has faded. I train in discomfort. I prepare in silence. I work when it's inconvenient, because I'm not just trying to be good. I'm trying to be undeniable. I'm not just trying to win. I'm trying to become a person who can't be denied. That's a whole different level of discipline. That's when you don't just work when it's convenient. You work because it's required. That's when you don't just perform when it's time. You live ready. You stay ready. You wake up ready because you know what's at stake. You know this isn't a game. You know there's no reset button, no do-a-lifer. This is it. One chance, and I'm not wasting it. There are people watching who never said a word. People studying your every move, or waiting to see if you'll fold, if you'll quit. Give them something to watch. Give them something they'll never forget. Give them consistency. Give them resilience. Give them a level of grind they've never explored. I'm not Heath Green. I'm here to inspire people, but with work, with my walk, with the way I keep showing up day after day. A storm after your storm, loss after loss, still believing, still building. You can take everything from me, but you can't take my will. You can take the resources, take the connections, take the money. But you can't take the fire. You can't take the mission that's burned into my heart. I don't work for likes. I don't move for applause. I don't lie for comfort. I don't for legacy. I lie for that moment when the work finally collides with the opportunity, and I know it didn't happen by accident. It happened because I'm relentless. I'm not chasing progress. I'm not trying to be the fastest. I'm trying to be the last one standing. Because when the dust settles, wait till your school. When the lights go out, when the crowd disappears, the only thing that's going to matter is, did you stay in the fight? Did you show up when it hurt? Did you keep pushing when it pay off right away? That's what defines the real, their high lowlights. Not just their victories, but their perseverance. Not just their gifts, but their grit. That's why no matter what comes my way, I won't bend. I won't back down. Some of you keep wondering why it's not working. You keep asking why your time hasn't come, why the breakthrough hasn't shown up yet, why the doors haven't opened to your school. But here's the truth for results. You're not being tested for resolve. Life doesn't hand out rewards to people who try once and walk away. It hands them up to ones who keep showing up, even when nothing makes sense. The ones who grind while it's quiet. The ones who believe when there's no proof. The ones who stay disciplined when nobody's watching. You think you're being punished, but you're being prepared. You think the pain is here to break you, but it's here to build you. This journey belongs to the most talented. It belongs to the most committed. The ones who keep pushing when motivation dries up. The ones who've learned to move without a crowd, without a coach, without a cheerleader. The ones who grind out of purpose, not applause. I don't move because I feel like it. I move because I decided to. I made a promise to myself, and I don't break promises. Not to me, not to the vision, not to the person I'm becoming. That version of me on the other side of the pain, the sacrifice, the setbacks, he's waiting on me to finish what I see. Most people quit when it hurts, but I lean into the pain. I don't run from pressure. I rise in it. Pressure doesn't expose weakness. It reveals strength. And I've been through a fire to know that what comes out on the other side is always stronger, always sharper, always more focused. You think this is supposed to be easy. You think greatness shows up without resistance. No, this is supposed to hurt. This is supposed to test you. That pain you're feeling right now, that's the process of transformation. That's what it feels like to evolve, to become what you said you were built for. You want to win, but you want to work. You want success, but you want to sacrifice. Everybody wants the results, but nobody wants the process. I don't just want a mountaintop. I want every step it takes to get there. I want the sweet. I want the grind. I want the lonely hours, the setbacks, the nights where I have to talk myself into doing what I said I would do, because I know what that creates. I know what kind of beast that builds. When you learn to keep going when it doesn't make sense, that's when you become dangerous. That's when people start to want to handfold it. Yeah, they thought I'd give up after the first failure. They thought the second one would break me. Then they waited after the third, the fourth, but I just kept coming because out of failures, I fail lessons. I don't track losses. I track loyalty, loyalty to the dream, loyalty to the discipline, loyalty to the version of me that refuses to die, that version of me that refuses to be silenced by doubt, fear, comparison, or delay. You can't defeat a person who won't surrender. You can't break someone who's already broken and built stronger. Every time I got knocked down, I learned to get up faster. Every time I failed, I learned how to fall forward. Every time life said no, I asked again, stronger, bolder. You think you're strong until life humbles you. Then you find out who you are. And the truth is, I didn't meet the me until life tested me, until I ran out of backup plans, until I had no one to call, until I had to figure it out or fold. That's when I discovered that I'm not playing here to prove something. Not to the critics, but to not myself, that I go through hell and come back with fire when I speak. I speak with conviction because I've lived this. I'm in here strength. I earned it. I didn't wake up confident. I built through the reps, through the early mornings, through the heartbreaks, through your doubts, through why I've cried, lost, and still kept building. I've been overlooked, underappreciated, underestimated, and still kept rising. That's why I don't flinch. That's why I don't fool. I've already been through worse and survived. And when you've already survived storms that should have killed you, you stop fearing the weather. This grind is personal now. This isn't for the followers, but for the flash. This is for the nights I had nothing. This is for the moments I almost quit. This is for the days I had to hype myself up just to move forward. That kind of journey ain't something in you can't be shaken. That kind of journey gives you a mentality that can't be taught. You can't Google this kind of grit. You have to live it. You have to earn it. You have to go through the fire around it. And when you do, there's a power that comes with it. A presence, a pressure, a focus that can't be faked. That's why you can't defeat me